At the start of this year, Senator Lindsey Graham took over as the chairman of the Senate Judiciary Committee. And from the beginning, Graham promised to use his powers as chairman, which are substantial, to get to the bottom of the Russia investigation. How did it start? As well as the bottom of other efforts by the American bureaucracy to control American politics. Here's the promise.
We're going to call them all before the committee. Did they try to invoke the 25th Amendment to take the president down? Did they get a warrant against an American citizen using information they know was flawed? Did they tank the Clinton email investigation because they were afraid that if they indicted her, she would lose an election they wanted her to win? You're going to get answers to that the best I can give them to you.
So that's a general promise, but Graham got much more specific. He said he would find the truth with a series of actions. He said he'd probe whether or not top DOJ officials plotted a bureaucratic coup to overthrow the elected president. He said he would subpoena Andrew McCabe as well as Rod Rosenstein if necessary. So far, Graham's tenure has been defined by total inaction. He has subpoenaed neither McCabe nor Rosenstein, nor has he launched an investigation. Now his inaction extends to the Ukraine saga as well. State Department official Kurt Volker reportedly has given closed-door testimony that undermines the current impeachment narrative. 2 weeks ago, Graham said that if Democrats didn't release a transcript of Volker's remarks, he would summon Volker before the Senate to testify. We're still waiting for that to happen, too. We've asked Senator Graham repeatedly to come on this show to explain this, among other things. We've never been successful in getting him here. Instead, tonight, we're joined by Senator Rand Paul. He serves with Senator Graham. He represents the Commonwealth of Kentucky. He's got a new book out, a fantastic new book called The Case Against Socialism. Rand Paul joins us tonight. Senator, thanks so much for coming on.
Thanks, Tucker.
So I don't want to single out, I don't want to be unfair to any particular senator, but I would tell you that I hear a lot from our viewers. What is the answer? How did this start? Lindsey Graham is the committee chairman. He claimed he would get to the bottom of it. Why hasn't he?
Well, not just any senator can do this, so I can't call a committee hearing and drag these people in. Senator Graham has the power. He's the chairman of a powerful committee, the Judiciary Committee, and yes, I've encouraged him publicly and privately to do this. I'd like to see John Brennan come in. I want to see Brennan testify, and I would ask him very pointedly, did you talk to the British intelligence agencies, and did you set up spying by foreign intelligence agencies on the president or the president's campaign? Because I think he did, and I think that's against the law, and I've talked to people who are convinced that these people, while they may be deceitful, they're sort of, so officious that they probably, as paperwork, they filled out, and those phone calls probably have a record. But I think he did call the British agents, and I think he did get them involved. But I also think it'd be interesting to know Christopher Steele and that Steele dossier. Did he talk to Russian agents? That's been the rumor for over a year now, that he was getting information from Russian agents. So everything the Democrats have accused President Trump of doing, investigating a political rival with a foreign country,
right?
All of those same questions should be asked of the Democrats. Did they do that to Trump?
Well, that's exactly right. And we're being told we have no right to know the answer after 2 years of sitting patiently and listening to this nonsense about Russia. So Lindsey Graham is at the center of this. You want to give him the benefit of the doubt, but the question remains, why hasn't he done this? It's within his power to do it. He hasn't done it. What's the answer? Why?
I think we'll have to wait and see. I think he does want to get to the bottom of this, but you're right. He needs to go ahead and exercise his power. We've been waiting a long time on this. Some people, and I'm not going to say Senator Graham, but there are other Republican senators up here whose allegiance is more to the deep state than it is to the president.
Yeah.
I think that Senator Graham does like the president and wants to get to the bottom of this, but a lot of us want to see it get started. We want to see subpoenas, and we don't want to see everything being done in secret on the House side, and then they parse out what they want to parse out. Most of those people that are testifying over there could equally be asked to testify over here. But really, I want to see Brennan come in, and I want to see him under oath. I want to see him under oath.
So I see a pattern here, though. And again, I don't want to be mean to Senator Graham, who I've known for a long time and I think is smart and capable. And maybe that's my frustration, is he is smart, he is capable. When he goes on cable news, not on this show, but on others, and he makes these claims, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm fighting for you, and then he doesn't. Here's another example. Here is Lindsey Graham promising us, voters in America, he's going to get to the bottom of the raid on Roger Stone's house. Watch.
My job is to provide oversight to the Department of Justice as the Judiciary Chairman. Somebody needs to watch those who watch us. Mueller, do your job, but these tactics are unacceptable given the level of threat here. I'm sending a message to them. You're accountable to the Congress. And we're going to find out what well, they better answer my letter.
Okay.
If I were them, I would.
Okay, so he didn't, in the end, get to the bottom of the raid on Roger Stone's house. Why shouldn't we feel aggrieved?
Well, he needs to use his clout, and only he can do it. Sometimes they give the argument, they say, well, we only want to do it if the Democrats will do it in a bipartisan way. But it doesn't have to be that. A simple majority can vote to do anything in the Judiciary Committee, and I think every one of his members will vote with him to have hearings. But yes, I think there should be very high-profile hearings on this, and there's a lot to investigate. How they originally got the FISA warrant, I want to know that, because I don't want anybody else in America to be abused by government the way the president was.
Well, of course not.
To anyone.
So I'm wondering if this has something to do with another issue unrelated directly to these issues, which is foreign policy. Senator Graham, as you know, is really probably the most aggressive neocon in the Senate. He has butted heads with the president over this. They're currently arguing about Syria. I wonder if his disagreement with Trump on foreign policy questions has caused him to slow walk some of these investigations.
Well, there is an establishment, both in foreign policy and also in the intelligence community. And in the intelligence community, it truly is the deep state. The deep state has an enormous amount of power to look at individuals. And so when Senator Graham and I have fought these fights in the past, I've always fought for having warrants where a real judge in public you have to present probable cause. Lindsey has always fought for allowing these to be done secretly, these FISA warrants, and then allowing Americans and let Americans be caught up in these. And so this is something that there may be a concern that if we look at the intelligence state, the deep state, that as we find out things, that some of their power may diminish. And so there might be a philosophical difference that he wants them to maintain their power. He wants to maintain the intelligence community's enormous grip on things.
It may be. And I bet you the voters of South Carolina disagree with him on that. And you know,
I think voters want to know what happened, what they did to the president.
Yeah. Senator, thanks so much. Great to see you tonight. Appreciate it.